Well, land values in Oklahoma are on the rise. Certainly good news if you're in the market to sell. But if your intentions are to hold on to the land, odds are your ad valorem taxes are headed upwards. But just how quickly may be determined this November. With more, here's our Andy Barth.
Rob, the ad valorem tax issue is creating drama and division among lawmakers and school and agricultural officials. This November, voters will decide whether they want the ad valorem tax annual increase capped at 3% versus the current 5%. But you may ask, what is ad valorem? So here's an example. Imagine this is your house, and its valuation has risen from $100,000 to $150,000 on the tax rolls. And it's that $50,000 difference that State Question 758 addresses. Under current law, the taxable amount for ad valorem can only rise by 5% each year. So it will take roughly 9 years of the 5% incremental increases for you to be taxed on the full $150,000. But if 758 is approved, it would cap the rise in ad valorem taxes to 3% each year, which means it will take about 16 years for your taxes to rise to their fair market value. Certainly good news for taxpayers, but not such good news for schools that depend on ad valorem taxes to fund education.
The farmer and the cowman should be friends. One man likes to push a plow, the other likes to chase a cow, but that's no reason why they can't.
History shows the farmer and the cattleman often don't see eye to eye. But this year, it's the farmer and the educator who may be at odds. State Question 758 would cap ad valorem tax to 3% annually, something educators worry would hurt our schools.
We move this one over here.
It's a form and a way to fund government based on your local ability to do so.
Greg Winters is the superintendent at Canadian Valley Technology Center and says ad valorem tax is an important component for school revenue.
In comprehensive schools, K-12 schools, based on the equalization portion of their formula, the more money they raise locally, the less money they get state.
So, prosperous districts with higher ad valorem values leaves more state dollars to go to rural schools. And Winters says if the ad valorem cap is reduced, rural areas will come up short.
Half of the properties, maybe more than that, transactions are taking place in Edmond. So they have a tremendous turnover of property every month, every week in Edmond. And so what happens is if they're at the 5% cap and we move it back to the 3% cap, then that means the Edmond Public Schools net value is not going to grow as much now with 3% as it was with the 5%. Rural's going to lose because the urban areas are not going to grow as fast. Therefore, they're going to attract more state dollars. There's less state dollars for everybody, so the rural areas are really going to suffer. So it's really a rural-urban issue.
And a common question about this tax is, who should be paying for education?
If you've got kids in school, if you've got grandkids in school, and you go to ball games, you go to the different activities at school and whatnot, I think it's real easy for you to bridge the gap of why you're paying property taxes to support your schools, and here's what the product is. If you've already raised your family and you're senior citizens and your kids all moved out of state and your grandkids are going to school in West Virginia or someplace, you're probably wondering why do I have to pay taxes to support schools and I don't have any kids in school? And the rest of that story is probably back in the 60s and 70s when those folks' kids were in school, they had the generation ahead of them that was actually paying tax to support those.
Are you changing fonts?
And while education officials are opposed to the reduction, Oklahoma Farm Bureau President Mike Spradling says agriculturalists are in favor of the state question.
Most agriculture is certainly asset rich and cash poor. And so there's, the concept, and everybody thinks because they have the big tractors, the big barns, a lot of property, that they have a lot of money, and it doesn't really affect them that much, to be taxed. But it does, and especially in today's environment. Let's look at what happened the last 2 years. A record-setting drought. There's been a lot of things occurred. There's been a lot of people had to dispose of their herds. There's been a lot of crops be burned up in the fields because they've already had a lot of tragedy in their lives. Then to come back and then have, at the end of the year, beginning of the year, you start your tax year again with a tax liability is it's a terrible thing.
Now, having to pay taxes on all this land around me can get expensive. Plus, add into the fact that we've seen a significant rise in land values, and farmers have seen their tax bill tick up 5% each year. which, when you own this much land, gets really expensive.
75% of all farm income now comes from off-farm sources. So in order to keep in agriculture, a lot of our people, we know it, and we see it every day. A lot of wives are teaching, a lot of husbands working in factories and things just to keep their farming operations going.
It goes by 2.
But Spradling says he's not lost on the importance and value of education in rural areas.
Well, I think we certainly need to look at what we can do to help education. Back several years ago when we had 744, we had the issue between the landowners and education as well. But that wasn't an issue that we were negative against education. It was just some poor legislation. And we vowed back then that we'd do what we could. And I think all of us as Oklahomans need to look at what we can do to help education. But you can't always continually just keep putting things on the back of one particular industry, such as ad valorem with agriculture. One thing we could certainly do as a state is be certain it's earmarked to go directly to education.
2 individual advocates for the future of rural Oklahoma, just differing on the way we get there. Now, State Question 758 is on the ballot this November, and both Dr. Winters and Mike Spradling say it is vital to be educated and informed on this issue and all issues before heading to the polls.
Now, a recent poll was taken to see how concerned Oklahomans are about cuts to local schools. Now, 64% say they were very concerned, 24% say they were somewhat concerned, and 11% say they're not concerned at all.